Something about that week felt different. Not dramatic, not visible from the outside, but underneath the surface, something was rearranging. I wasn't making any big declarations. I wasn't radically changing routines, but I felt like I was no longer on autopilot. I started watching, not just others, but myself too. It wasn't confusion, really. It was more like detachment. Like I'd woken up in a room I'd lived in for years, but suddenly noticed all the furniture was in the wrong place. I went to work, same uniform, same steel toes, same beige colored shirt with our company's faded album on the chest. I clocked in, walked the same lines, gave the same tired nods, but I wasn't in the same headspace. That first full week back, I didn't say much. I observed, watched how people moved, how they talked to each other. There were jokes, complaints, gossip, same old rhythm. But no spark behind it, no joy. It was like the air in the place had been sucked out slowly over time, and no one noticed we were all breathing less. By Thursday, I had a plan. Not a big one, just a small test. I heard about a worker on modified duty, isolated over in a quiet corner of the plant, doing repetitive low engagement work. I didn't know her well, but I remembered her face around the plant for quite a while. Now she looked like a shadow of herself. So I walked over slowly. No clipboard, no orders, just me. She looked up, half surprised, half suspicious. "Hey," I said softly, but steady. "How are you doing over here?" There was a pause, like she had to decide whether to give me the polite lie or the real answer. She gestured towards the station. "Well, what do you think? Would you want to be doing this?" I didn't dodge it. "No, I wouldn't." We stood there a moment. "I used to be out with the team," she said. "Now I'm in this corner pushing parts nobody notices. It's like I disappeared." I could feel her frustration. Not just with the injury, but with being forgotten. She went on. "Honestly, I could get a note from my doctor and just stay off altogether. Sometimes I think maybe I should." I leaned in a little. "But you really want to do that?" She hesitated. "No, but I'm scared they'll just throw me back in the same role that broke me the first time." I nodded. "What if you could talk to the doctor? Start back at level 1, not jump straight to level 10. Tell them what you're ready for, not what they assume." Something shifted in her face. It was subtle, but I saw it. It was like the conversation reminded her that she had options, that someone still saw her. She looked at me sideways. "You got the lottery numbers or something? How do you know all this?" I laughed. "Nah, just felt like it was time someone asked you." The interaction stuck with me, because it didn't take a massive system to overhaul some grand gesture. It took one human conversation, and I realized that was my lane. That's where I always used to lead from, heart first. I'd just forgotten. Then came Monday. I was walking in for afternoon shift, same as always. I wasn't expecting anything unusual, but as I was dropping my stuff off in the locker room, I got a message from my operations manager wanting to see me in the office. I had this weird thought for a second. Maybe I'm getting fired. I wasn't anxious. In a strange way, part of me even hoped it. I was tired of pretending, tired of towing a line that didn't mean anything anymore. I walked in wearing the same uniform as I always did. Nothing dramatic. PPE still strapped on, gloves tucked in my waistband, just another cog in the machine. But the tone of the room wasn't what I expected. He didn't start with accusations or feedback or numbers. He just looked at me and said, "Sit down. I've been thinking." That caught me off guard. He started telling me a story about a team meeting he ran recently and how no one seemed to be listening, how people looked checked out. "I don't get it," he said. "I felt like I wasn't even in the room." And I'm sitting there thinking, "You're just figuring this out now?" But I didn't say it. I just listened. He kept talking, almost searching for answers out loud, trying to put his finger on what used to make us feel like a team and how far off the tracks we've gone. And then he pulled out a tablet. "There's a video I want to show you," he said. He tapped on the screen and started playing Tom Bilyeu interviewing Simon Sinek. Again, the same video that I watched alone a week earlier, the one that he had already commented on the week before. I couldn't believe it. As I watched that clip again, but now beside my boss, it hit me. This isn't coincidence. Maybe the universe really had started moving things. This, he said, pointing at the screen, is what I think we've been missing. I leaned back and folded my arms, and I'm thinking, he just talked about this and said, I don't want us just to hit numbers. I want this place to feel like it means something again, like it used to. And then he looked at me. I seen you've been different lately. People are noticing, and frankly, we need more of that. We need someone who gives a shit. He didn't say it like a job offer, more like an invitation. Another green light. A moment where I felt the door cracked open, permission to stop surviving and start leading again. I walked out of that meeting and didn't say a word to anyone, but something in me locked in. This wasn't just about getting sober or watching a motivational video. It was about remembering who I was before all the burnout, the paperwork, and the policies. Before the team potlucks got replaced by HR memos. Before we stopped looking each other in the eye. And maybe I could help bring some of that back. So I started small, little check-ins, a few conversations each day, asking how people were doing, actually listening, not talking about quotas or defects, just asking about their day, their weekend, their families. People trusted, maybe they didn't really trust me at first. I could see it, like they were waiting for the catch, the critic, but it didn't come, and slowly I saw a shift. Not big, not loud, but real. People started opening up, laughing a little more, meeting my eyes when I passed by. By the end of the week, I had a strategy forming. There were a couple people on the floor who had a reputation for being the most negative. I knew if I could reach one of them, just one, the ripple effect could be huge. But I wasn't ready yet. That would come later. For now, I kept letting that invisible voice guide me. It wasn't loud, but it was steady, and it sounded a lot like me, the real me, the one I used to be. Before we traded connection for compliance, before our jobs became checklists and our lives became habits, I wasn't trying to change the system, not yet. I was just remembering how to be human. That night, after talking to that worker, after the meeting with my boss, after walking the floor and feeling something click, I sat alone. The house was quiet. I picked up my phone, hit record, and pointed the camera toward the darkest part of the room. I don't know why. Maybe I just needed proof that something was changing, that I wasn't crazy, that the voice inside me wasn't just another lie. I looked into the screen, shadows behind me, and whispered, "Who's there?" Nothing. Then again louder, "If something's behind me, show yourself." The video didn't capture anything unusual, but when I watched it back later, I noticed something I hadn't seen in years. My own eyes, focused, present, awake, and yet something still felt just out of view, like I wasn't alone. Not in a haunted sense, but in that deeper way, like the parts of me I'd buried were watching, waiting, getting ready, and I could feel it. This wasn't over. Something in me was stirring, not just light, shadow too, and I knew before this journey would move forward, I was going to have to face that directly.
Chapter 4: The Awakening. Coming soon.